I created a guitar amp simulator using AI, and I want you to help me beta test it. Hey everybody, Jayce Allan here. Welcome back to the channel. So you may or may not like AI. AI is kind of a divisive, controversial topic right now, but I actually found some use cases for it that are pretty helpful. I use it when I'm writing scripts, if I get stuck where I need some extra help, and use it for, you look up things and sort of research things, and it's kind of helpful. You gotta kind of double check the accuracy sometimes, but it actually is pretty helpful. And one other thing that I found out about using these AI chatbots is that they're really good at producing computer code. They can help you develop apps. Computer applications. Back in the day, we used to call them programs. So I haven't done much programming. We used to call it programming. Now it's called coding. But I've dabbled a little bit in it, and so I know kind of the basics. But most of your plugins and amp models and digital effects for a guitar are written in a language called C++. C++ has been around for a long time. A lot of video games are programmed in C++. It's a pretty complicated language if you're not somebody that easily picks up computer code. Looks a lot like an alien language or a foreign language when you're looking at it. So it can be a little tough to develop things. So I discovered almost by accident that you can actually build VST plugins and audio applications using AI to help you develop the code. So I started out with Google Gemini, kind of prompted it to help me come up with, I wanted to build an amp sim based on the Vox AC30. Just to try it out, just because that was sort of the simplest amp that I could think of off the top of my head, and it has kind of a distinct sound to it. So I thought if the AI can create something even approximating that amp, then it would be a pretty good accomplishment. Well, Google Gemini doesn't code really well, so I struggled trying to get it to output anything that was usable. And so you basically end up chasing errors and trying to rewrite your prompt to get the AI to understand what the hell it is you're talking about. So found out about this other AI model or chatbot, I don't know whatever you want to call it, AI service called Claude. And Claude is actually very good at code. There's actually a development app called Claude Code, and you can prompt Claude to help you come up with code for these applications. And so that's what I did, and I was pretty surprised by the result, and maybe you will be too. Maybe you won't. Who knows? But I thought this was something that you guys might find interesting. So let's dive into what it is that I created. Well, I didn't create it. The AI created it. I just told it what to do. So here it is. This is the icon here. And instead of a Vox AC30, I called it the Vox Jayce 30, and if you double click that, this is Windows. In case you didn't, you weren't aware, Windows. I'm on Windows 11, and so I developed this for Windows. I'm also going to make it available for Linux and Mac. I got to find. I don't have a Mac, so actually I got a really old Mac desktop. I might be able to use that for testing. I don't know, but and then for Linux is a little, I don't know, it's a little finicky when you're trying to do audio with it. It does video editing really good, but audio I haven't had much luck using a DAW in Linux. but I figured I'd make it available for all the platforms. But anyway, here it is. AC30 emulator, rocks Jayce 30. And as you can see here, these knobs turn, or you can enter the values in down there. So you got a volume, reverb, treble, bass, and gain. And that's it. And it's based on the actual schematics of an AC30. Now, whether it sounds anything like an AC30 or not, I don't know. I think it sounds pretty good. It's a little like quiet, I guess. I mean, I don't know. You can, these plugins are funny because some plugins say you should basically lower the volume of your audio interface basically down to 0, and let the app handle the volume. And then some people say you should turn the volume up. This one's kind of in the middle. You actually have to apply some juice to your audio interface to get some gain into the app itself. And it's not super loud, but it actually, the only Vox AC series amp that I ever owned was, I think it's the AC5. Those are they're just a small, low power, it's a tube amp, but it's hand wired, with the same circuitry as the AC30. And that one, I mean, it didn't seem overly, like, overdrive it was kind of quiet. It acts more like an amp, and the sort of overdrive comes from like pedals that you add to it. So, but your mileage may vary with that. So anyway, we'll plug it in, let you hear it, and then we'll talk about how I made it, and how you can make your own, and where you can download this one so that you can beta test it for me, and let me know if there's anything I need to change or update or whatnot. So I think that will be interesting. So let's check it out. Okay, so here is, I'm in Reaper, the DAW Reaper, and this app that I created is not only it's a standalone app, but it's also a VST3 plugin. So you can either use it as just like a practice amp, on your computer without recording, or you can pull it into your DAW and record with it. So let's find it real quick here. There we go. So it's part of the DAW at this point. Okay, so let's try this out. Keep the reverb all the way down. We'll put the gain right about there, and bass and treble at 1 o'clock. And this is the solo Telecaster that I reviewed, I don't know, a couple days ago. So that's more or less a clean tone. Let's boost the volume up almost all the way. More bass, and we'll bring the gain up to 12 o'clock. See, I think that's sort of that. I think it sounds pretty good. I don't know how accurate or true to the actual amp it is, but so let's crank the gain all the way. Bring the volume back a little bit. That's that. take the bass down a little bit. Okay, and then I added a reverb to it, spring reverb. So there you go. That's it. That's an app, amp sim app that AI wrote. I told it what to write, but it did most of the work, like 99% of the work. So anyway, let me show you real quick what I did. So if you come into Claude, and I did get a subscription for Claude. I think it's like $20 a month. But you can do quite a bit of stuff without, without a subscription. It's just you get a lot more prompts with a subscription. So if we go all the way up, so this is the whole thread of prompts that I used to create this, and I was able to do, come up with a finished product in a few days. Not like a whole day of coding, just, maybe 3-4 hours over the course of each, 3 or 4 hours a day over the course of a few days. I started in Linux on my laptop because I have Linux on there. But then came down here to my studio and wanted to run it in Reaper and all that stuff. And so I ended up switching gears and telling Claude that I wanted to finish, kind of port it over to Windows. But anyway, this all I said. I said I'd like to build an app for Windows that emulates a Vox AC30 guitar amp. I am developing in Linux, though. Is that an issue? And it gives you some, tells you what you need and everything. And then it jumps right into, hey, do you want me to help you code this? And use this thing called the Jayce framework. Sorry, I'm looking at my monitor, not the camera. That's why it looks like I'm looking away. It uses this thing called the Jayce framework, Juce. And that's like basically a library of audio scripts and audio code that's already pre-done in C++, so that you basically don't have to reinvent the wheel. So you can use these different elements for, like you can do reverbs, you can do all these different things, and you don't have to code that stuff from scratch. And then here it shows you, this is like the project directory structure. Tells you what to make. You make a directory called modules and source and assets and tests, and then it just starts spitting out code. So there's another element called CMake. That's the I think that's the portion of the code that helps you compile the app when you're done. And so let's see, what else? It asked me if I wanted to create a standalone or have the VST, which I said, go ahead and do both. Give me a VST. So it configures that, and then it tells you what you need to install. I installed this thing here called Visual Studio Code. This is basically development tools so you can edit your code. So this is part of this code plugin processor, C++. So here's your code, the actual code that Claude wrote. Let's see, where was I? And so you can see here, plugin processor, this Claude wrote this. And your headers, the different headers, and then you you basically build it layer by layer. See, here's tube stage. So you do your tube, your tone stack, they call it. And then here's a tremolo. We were going to do tremolo, but I pulled that out. We'll maybe make one with that later. So the spring reverb. So you can see these are just, most of this is Claude's response. The ones in the black box, these are my prompts or questions. I'll ask it questions. It says, "Hey, do this," and I'll say, "Hey, how do you do that?" Or where should I save this? Or how do I install this? And it does everything kind of for you. I mean, you have to have some hands on. You have to create your directory structure and download the different modules and things like that. And what you end up with at the end is a finished program that you then can compile and turn into an app in not Visual Studio. This is VS Code. And then you can see I've got Git here. Git is a repository, they call it, for different code, different applications and whatnot. And then CMake is part of your thing that turns the code into a finished app. So then what you end up with is a exe file for the standalone, and then a VST3 folder with all your contents for that. And then the CMake, what that does is it bundles it into an executable that you can run in Windows to install. It's an installer, and it has an uninstaller and all that stuff. And so I'll put a link in the description to my Google Drive so you can download this, install it on your computer, try it out, and give me any feedback that you have. I'll include an email address so you can drop me a line or just comment on the video itself. So there you go. That's I built a VST plugin and a standalone amp simulator using AI, and it actually works, and it didn't take that long to do it. So if you're interested in learning some code and making your own apps, and you don't have a degree in computer science, then you can actually create some apps with AI. So whether you love it or hate it, it actually does have some uses. So I think that was kind of interesting. I'm a huge computer nerd, and so I thought this was pretty neat to be able to combine my love of computers and my love of music and guitar into something that actually works and is usable. So check it out and let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.